That being said, the Argentina national team is now said to have prepared everything necessary for their complaint regarding the World Cup final. All of the documents, evidence, and various points forming the basis of Argentina's objection have been compiled and submitted through the ongoing process. There are even claims that if the entire process ultimately results in a decision in Argentina's favor, the World Cup final could once again become part of the discussion, and the possibility of a replay could also be considered, depending on the final decision of the authorities in charge. What makes the situation even more interesting is the development that emerged at the last minute, when FIFA was reportedly said to have issued a major statement regarding what is happening with Argentina, the Spanish national team, and the future of the case related to the World Cup final. The question now is, what will actually happen with Argentina's complaint, which is said to have reached a very important stage? Will all of the evidence submitted by Argentina truly bring about a major change in the course of the case? And most importantly, will the final decision provide a solution that benefits Argentina, or will it instead uphold the result of the final as it previously took place? According to the information presented in the latest development, claims have emerged that there is additional evidence that could support the position of the Argentina national team. As we already know, Argentina previously submitted an objection and complaint regarding various incidents that occurred during the World Cup final. The complaint was then linked to a process involving FIFA and CAS, particularly concerning a number of controversial decisions that Argentina believes need to be seriously reviewed. Argentina is said to have submitted the evidence in its possession, included various important incidents in its documents, and explained why it believes there are issues that should not simply be ignored. And this is where the latest development becomes even more interesting. According to the claims circulating, it is not only the initial evidence that is being examined. It has been reported that during the further review process, several additional details have also emerged that are believed to strengthen Argentina's position. In other words, if all of this evidence is actually proven to be valid and can be verified through the official process, then this case would certainly become much more serious than just an ordinary match controversy. There is also one very important issue that has drawn attention. In the latest development, claims have emerged about additional evidence that is allegedly connected to suspected manipulation during the World Cup final. Those allegations involve various parties mentioned in this narrative, ranging from UEFA, the refereeing authorities, VAR, the match referee, and even the Spanish national team. However, once again, all of these allegations must be understood as claims that still require proof and an official decision from the authorities with jurisdiction over the matter. It would not be appropriate to immediately treat all of these allegations as facts before the investigation is completed and an official decision is issued. Nevertheless, if those allegations are ultimately proven to be true, the impact would certainly be enormous. The issue would no longer be limited to just one refereeing decision, one red card, or one controversial moment during the match. Instead, it would develop into a much bigger question about how the match was conducted, how important decisions were made, how VAR was used, and whether there were any violations of the rules that could have affected the outcome of the match. This is why various details surrounding the final have once again come under the spotlight. Argentina had previously included a number of incidents in its complaint, including decisions involving players, the use of VAR, refereeing decisions, and various moments that Argentina believes need to be reviewed. All of these details are said to have been compiled in documents submitted through the available legal and sporting channels. And now, based on the development described in this narrative, claims have emerged that the review process by FIFA and CAS has uncovered more information that needs to be examined. If there truly is additional evidence that can be verified and has a direct connection to the events of the final, then the position of all parties could certainly change. Argentina will have to wait and see how that evidence is evaluated, while Spain would also find itself in a very important position because the previous result of the match is directly connected to its status as the World Cup champion. The biggest questions are emerging once again. What will actually happen to Argentina? What will happen to Spain? And what will happen to the World Cup, which is still officially recorded as belonging to the Spanish national team. This is what makes this case so interesting to continue following. Because if all procedures were indeed carried out according to the rules, and if the evidence submitted by Argentina is ultimately deemed valid and strong enough, then a solution will have to be determined by the authorities with the proper jurisdiction. That solution could involve a decision regarding the match itself, the result of the match, or another aspect that is part of the complaint. However, the final form of the resolution will still depend entirely on the official decision that is eventually issued. In a particular scenario, if the legal process and investigation truly establish that serious violations occurred and that those violations affected the outcome of the match, then various possibilities could certainly be considered. These could include reviewing the result of the match, imposing sanctions on certain parties, or taking other measures in accordance with the applicable rules. There has even been speculation within the developing narrative that Argentina could potentially be given an opportunity to replay the final, or even be declared the champion, if there is indeed a legal and regulatory basis that would allow such an outcome. But once again, we cannot rush to conclusions. We cannot say that Argentina has definitely become the champion. We also cannot say that Spain has definitely lost the title. And we cannot say that the World Cup final will definitely be replayed before an official decision is issued by the appropriate authorities. All of these possibilities still have to wait for one thing above all else, the official decision. Because ultimately, what has the power to determine what will actually happen is not rumors, not comments on social media, not circulating videos, and not the opinions of fans. What will serve as the basis is the official documentation, the results of the investigation, verifiable evidence, and the decisions made by FIFA and CAS within the scope of their respective authority. And this is what makes the latest development so important. The final decision that is eventually announced will provide a clearer picture of the fate of Argentina's complaint, the position of the Spanish national team, and what will happen to the result of the World Cup final. If violations are indeed proven, then FIFA and the relevant authorities will have to determine an appropriate resolution in accordance with the rules. However, if the evidence turns out to be insufficient to change the result of the match, then the previous result could certainly remain in place. So, we are now at a stage where every new development could become extremely important. One additional document, one investigation result, or one official decision could change the entire direction of this case. Argentina will certainly be watching closely, and so will Spain and soccer fans around the world. And if there truly is more evidence, as mentioned in the latest development, then we could be dealing with a case that is far bigger than just a controversy surrounding a World Cup final. Because if it is proven that serious violations occurred and affected the course of the match, the consequences could lead to one of the biggest and most controversial decisions in the history of modern soccer. However, for now, we have to wait. Do not rush to say that Argentina has already become the champion. Do not rush to say that Spain has lost its title. And do not assume that the final will be replayed before an official decision is actually announced. All we can do now is wait for the final outcome of the entire process. Wait for the official documents. Wait for FIFA's decision. Wait for CAS decision. And see whether the evidence that has been mentioned is truly strong enough to bring about a major change in this case. If Argentina ultimately receives the solution it has been fighting for, then of course, that would be an extraordinary development. But if the final decision turns out to be different, then we must also accept that outcome based on the official decision and the rules that apply. Regardless, this case has become one of the most interesting topics of discussion following a World Cup final. The debates surrounding refereeing decisions, VAR, the red card, the course of the match, and allegations of possible violations during the game have once again placed FIFA and CAS under the spotlight. Now it's your turn. In your opinion, if additional evidence is indeed found that can truly prove serious violations occurred during that final, what kind of solution should be given to Argentina? Should the final actually be replayed? Should the result of the match be reviewed? Or would there be another form of punishment that would be more appropriate under the rules? Write your opinion in the comments section. I want to know what you think about the latest developments in this case and about the possible decision that could eventually be made. And of course, We will continue to follow every latest development involving Argentina, Spain, FIFA, CAS, and the entire process surrounding this case. See you in the next video, and let's find out together what will actually happen next in this case that continues to capture the attention of the soccer world.